Yeah, I can hear you. I can see that you have a picture of Atatürk in the back there.
Yeah.
You're doing a project based on the book, right?
I'm graph here. So,
Oh, you've done a lot of work.
yes.
That is very impressive. Very impressive. That's a lot of thinking. You've been doing some thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah? Wonderful. What are your names?
My name is Kuzey.
My name is Zainab.
Very nice to meet you all.
It's very nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you. And you speak such good English.
Thank you.
You must have very good teachers.
Yes. Yes. Our teachers are excellent.
I can see.
Can I ask you one question while you were waiting?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
We read The Giant's Rescue also in our math class and everybody loved it. Why did you decide to write a fantastic book about math?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, that sometimes math seems like something you do just in the classroom and leave in the classroom and then go home and then you face the real world with real problems.
Yes.
But I wanted to show that math is really not just for the classroom. I wanted to show that math is about real problems. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you and 3 friends, so 4 of you, go on a picnic.
Yes.
And you bring only 3 pieces of baklava. Okay? So now, you want to keep your friends. So you have not just a math problem, but you have a social problem. How do you divide the 3 pieces among 4 people? And if you fail, then you might lose 1 friend. So at this point, you have to take the math out of the classroom and into the real world. And so I thought I'd write a book about kids who take math out of the classroom and into their lives and solve their own problems, which have to do with real friendship with math. You are in Istanbul, right?
Yes.
And you are in a part of Istanbul called Tuzla?
Yes.
Is Tuzla on the European or on the Asian side?
Asian.
Asian side. Yeah, but where do you live? Do you live near the school?
No. Yes.
Some of us.
Some of you? And
Yes.
do some of you have to cross the water every morning to get to school?
Yes.
Yeah? Is that fun?
No.
No?
And we are going to start.
Okay, I'm ready.
We want to say hello to you from the Koç School in Turkey. We are very happy and excited to be able to make this interview with you.
We would like to thank you on behalf of all our friends for this interview. We are 15 students here at the moment representing the 106 students who read your book Old Scroll in our Turkish lesson and Jaden's Rescue in our math lesson with great admiration.
We would like to tell you about the activities we made about your book. We read your book Old Scroll in our lessons with our teachers.
We shared every event that our brothers had experienced and tried to solve the riddles. After we finished reading the book, we made lots of activities.
One of these activities was to write riddles, just like you did in your book. We would now like to ask you the riddle we prepared, especially for you.
Are you ready?
I will try.
A very distant country far away from Canada, connecting two continents to one another.
Those civilizations were established here. The tourists wander around in the covered bazaar and the Egyptian bazaar with interest.
Turkish kebab, delight, coffee. You eat and drink with pleasure. Do not live without seeing Cappadocia, Pamukkale, the Bosporus, and many more beauties.
You have limited time. You need to find the answer until the end of this Skype interview. We will get the answer at the end of this interview. Make use of the clues.
Some of the other activities we made on the books are making interviews with all brothers about the incidents, turning the incidents they experiences into a news article, creating a new character for the book, the transformations they have had before and after the riddles, writing a letter to his grandparents, preparing a time graph.
We have sent you some samples of these activities and some photographs our teachers have taken while we make them.
We are looking forward to ask you the questions we and our friends who are not here have prepared. If you're ready, our 15 friends will ask you the questions one by one.
Yes, absolutely. I'm ready.
Sırayla gidelim.
Hello.
Hello.
What was your inspiration in Sophie Teresa, Wonder Marvin, and Happy-O?
Yes. My inspiration for Thierry Teresa. Let's see now. Well, it wasn't any specific person, but you know how some people in your life are very emotional, and sometimes they laugh very quickly or they cry very quickly. I thought I would just take one emotion, which is distress. But don't forget that Thierry Teresa really cares about people, so she cries when bad news come or when someone's suffering. And so I thought that maybe it would be interesting to imagine a person who is so caring that she cries every time someone suffers. So that's Thierry Teresa.
Wonder Marvin?
Grumpy Marvin. You know how sometimes you have a grumpy relative who always complains and always tells you that you're doing wrong things, but deep inside he cares about you. Well, Grumpy Marvin, he is grumpy, but he helps Chris and Francis. You remember that, right? So he still cares. He's like Thierry Teresa, he just expresses his care differently.
The last one, Happy-O.
Happy Joel, oh yeah. Well, again, some people are really positive. Some people always see the bright side. You notice that Happy Joel, even when he is being tough, when he's being tough on Ted and Ned, he's still a joker. He still makes things sound fun. And people like that really make your day. They make you happy no matter how tough the situation is.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My name is Deniz.
Hello.
Hello. There are questions in your book that we could not answer. Why didn't you continue this adventure in an exciting way, moving on from these questions?
I'm not sure I understand. Are you asking why I didn't continue the book?
Yes, for example, in the start of the book, Chris and Francis saw that it was raining, but their dad said, no, it wasn't raining, and there's
yeah, sure. Well, see, the idea behind the book is that there is always a possibility that it was just a game. Because, you know, adults and children see the world differently. Children sometimes play, and they believe so strongly in what they're playing that they might forget that it's a game, and it becomes real. You probably have that happen to you once in a while, or maybe when you were younger, right? And so I thought that maybe I could write a book where two possible explanations can exist simultaneously. One explanation is that all these magical events really happen, and that there is a magical shop and there is a magical scroll. But the other explanation is that they're just two boys and they are having a let's pretend adventure that they really enjoy so much that it becomes real in their minds. You can choose which explanation is the right one. There you go. Thank you for your questions.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome.
Is it teşekkür? Teşekkür, is that how you say? Thank you. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Duru.
Hello, Duru.
Who motivated you to become a writer?
Well, I don't think that I was motivated to become a writer. I was motivated to write specific stories. So, for example, when I wrote Haritada Kaybolmak, I wanted to think about old age. Because when you're young, how old are you, Duru?
I'm 11.
11. So when you're 11 and you look at your grandparents, let's say your grandparents are 80 years old, it seems like that is so far away that it does not concern you. It's almost as if you could never get old. And in reality, of course, even though it's far away, old age happens to almost everyone. And so I thought it would be nice to imagine what it would be like for kids to feel what their grandparents feel. And that's why I wrote the book, because the two characters, Chris and Francis, experience old age. And then they can understand their grandparents more. So that's what's inspired me to write the book.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Zainab, and we learned that you named the characters of the book after their own children to make them feel special. Are there any similarities between the characters and their children?
Well, there are similarities between Alex and the book and my son, because my son, when he was a little bit like you, your age, he found math boring. He thought that it wasn't about the real world, and as I said, I wanted to show him that it was about the real world. So that's the main similarity. But now my kids are big. My daughter is studying nursing at university, and my son is almost finished with his chemistry and computer science degree at university. And he's bigger than me.
Oh, thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I
Hello.
would like to ask you what would happen if you used a medication other than Xanax in the book?
Can you repeat that, please?
What would happen if you used a medication other than Xanax in the book?
That's a good question. I never thought about it, but maybe the two boys would just keep getting older until they die. So it would be a very different story, very sad story.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Melis. What if you were your son Alex? What would you think about the books you wrote?
Well, I can tell you that my son was very excited when Jaden's Rescue appeared in Canada in English. He brought it to school and he showed it to all his friends, and they read it. And just like you, they invited me to their school, and they also asked questions, and they wrote little stories and they drew pictures. So Alex was very, very proud.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Sona.
Nice to meet you.
If you were one of the characters in this book, which one would you like to be?
Now, which book are you talking about?
Haritada Kaybolmak.
How do you tell the other one? I would be Mr. Chagrin, because Mr. Chagrin is very mysterious and he has all kinds of tricks and magical things in his store. Mr. Chagrin is a bit like Dumbledore.
Why?
Why? Because I'm older and Mr. Chagrin is older. So I wouldn't be like one of the kids, because one of the kids would be more like my children or like you.
Thank you so
You
much.
are welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too, thank you.
my
Hello.
name is Umut. Uh, what would happen if Christian Francis had chosen another role instead of soil in Old Scroll?
Well, I once thought of writing a story about water. So instead of earth, if they choose water, I imagined a story about a flood where the world starts flooding because of global warming, and the two boys find themselves in a building, in a high-rise building, and the water keeps rising, and they have to keep going up every floor, and they have to find a solution. That's what I thought. But I haven't written that yet.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hello, my
Hello.
I was going to ask, do you read your books? And if you do you have the same excitement while you read it?
Well, it's hard to have the same excitement the second time around and the third time around because you know what will happen. But my excitement comes from thinking of all the children around the world in different countries who read my books and enjoy them. That's my excitement because I get letters from all kinds of places, children in China, Korea, in Europe, in Turkey, read my books. And sometimes I get letters from classrooms. So that's what I find the most exciting for now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Why do you think that adults and children like this book so much?
Well, I think adults like these books because they are educational, so they can be used in schools, which is where they are used. And children like the adventures, I think, and that's what I really wanted. I wanted children to have fun. So it's not just education, it's both education and adventure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Emir.
Hello.
What would you have done if the incidents in the book happened to you?
I would have been really scared. But I hope that I would have been as smart as the characters because these characters really are good problem solvers. They don't give up. And that's really the point. You never give up. So I hope I would have done that. But of course, we never know what we would have done.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Mete.
Hello.
Was there a time when you gave a break during the writing process of the book? And are there any parts that you have altered in the book?
Could you repeat that, please?
Last part.
I'm not sure I understood any of it.
Was there a time when you gave a break during the writing process of the book?
Uh-huh.
And are there any parts that you had altered in the book?
So I think you're asking, was there a time when I had to stop while writing and come up with new ideas? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't think so. I think that when I was writing both my books, I was very inspired. I felt that the story just came out of me very naturally. So I didn't have to stop. I just kept going and going. And I was helped by editors as well, who gave me ideas, and my family, and my kids. So after all that help, I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. That's how it worked. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Zainab again.
Hello, Zainab.
Why did Shagrin disappear in the book and never came out again in the book? We were curious about what happened to him.
Well, again, it's going back to this idea that there are two possible explanations. One is that it's real, and the other one is that it's just a game. And so, if you remember, at the very end of the book, one of the boys asks, "Did this really happen?" And the other one says, "Yes, it did." But the question is, where did it happen? In their imagination or in the real world? You notice that when the two boys come back to school the next year, nobody remembers the adventure. Their friends don't remember. See, that opens the possibility that it was imaginary. On the other hand, maybe not. And so that's why I thought that Mr. Chagrin had to disappear, so that the mystery is never quite resolved. That's the answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Ralph.
Hello.
I have a question. At the beginning of the book, Chris and Francis see it raining, but not. But actually, it doesn't rain. I could not find the answer at the book. I wonder what you thought about.
Well, you know how magic works. When magical things happen, sometimes there is no explanation. You want a mystery, because if everything is explained, then it's no longer exciting. So sometimes it's good to leave questions, some questions, not answered. And that's why I left these little mysterious parts in the text with no answers. That's the reason. There you go.
Hi, I'm Kuzey again, and we think you wanted to give a message about the importance of time to children when you start writing this book. Moving on from this idea, we would like to hear these messages from you if possible.
Oh, yes, certainly. You know, sometimes you are really excited about what's coming up. Let's say your parents told you that on Sunday you're going on a trip. And it's Monday, so you still have quite a number of days till Sunday. So you might forget about Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday, and you keep thinking about Sunday. And if you forget about all those days, then you miss them. So I wanted to show that every moment counts. That if you live in the future, you miss the present. And that's the main message, is to catch every moment of life and enjoy it. And pay attention to your life right now, because you never know what's coming tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Did you find the answer of the riddle?
Yes, and the answer is Turkey. You gave excellent clues, the Bosphorus, and the two continents being joined together, and the market, and the ancient culture, all these things, that's clear, it's Turkey, which is a very interesting country.
And there was, we said about our country in here, so that's a clue too.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Very good riddle.
Thank you so much for this enjoyable interview and answering our questions. We'll share your answers and comments with our other friends. We are looking forward to read your new books.
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience for me and a pleasure to meet you and your excellent teachers. All the best to you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
For our students, they loved the mysteries and they loved reading your books. They enjoyed it, both of the books, very much, especially the Old Scroll. And we would like to thank you one more time for giving us this opportunity to meet with our students here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to meet with you. It's always wonderful to see my readers. And I hope that your school succeeds as much as I can see it has already succeeded in teaching the kids excellent English.
Thank you. And we would like to see you in our school, hopefully next year if you can find the time. We would like to host you here as well.
Thank you. That's a wonderful idea. Maybe someday I will come to Turkey. I've always wanted to visit.
Yeah, please. You're always welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.